Keep people off balance and in the dark by never revealing the purpose behind your actions. If they have no clue what you are up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Guide them far enough down the wrong path, envelop them in enough smoke, and by the time they realize your intentions, it will be too late. Part 1. Use decoys to throw people off the scent. Most people are open books. They say what they feel, blurt out their opinions at every opportunity, and constantly reveal their plans and intentions. They do this for several reasons. First, it is easy and natural to always want to talk about one's feelings and plans for the future. It takes effort to control your tongue and monitor what you reveal. Second, many believe that by being honest and open, they are winning people's hearts and showing their good nature. But they are greatly deluded. Honesty is actually a blunt instrument, which bloodies more than it cuts. Your honesty is likely to offend people. It is more prudent to tailor your words and be diplomatic, rather than reveal the ugly truth of what you feel or think. More important, by being unabashedly open, you make yourself so predictable and familiar, that it is almost impossible to respect or fear you. Power will not flow to a person who cannot inspire respect or fear. If you yearn for power, quickly lay honesty aside, and train yourself in the art of concealing your intentions. Master this art and you will always have the upper hand. A simple but important truth about human nature is that our first instinct is to always trust appearances. We cannot go around always doubting the reality of what we see and hear. Constantly imagining that appearances conceal something else would exhaust and terrify us. This fact makes it relatively easy to conceal one's intentions. Simply create a decoy by dangling an object you seem to desire, a goal you seem to aim for, in front of other people's eyes, and they will take the appearance for reality. Once their eyes focus on the decoy, they will fail to notice what you are really up to. A tactic that is often effective in setting up a red herring is to appear to support an idea or cause that is actually contrary to your own sentiments. Most people will believe that you have experienced a change of heart, since it is so unusual to play so lightly with something as emotional as one's opinions and values. The same applies for any decoyed object of desire. Seem to want something in which you are actually not at all interested, and your enemies will be thrown off the scent, making all kinds of errors in their calculations. Use this tactic in the following manner. Hide your intentions not by closing up, but by talking endlessly about your desires and goals, just not your real ones. You kill 3 birds with 1 stone. You appear friendly, open and trusting. You conceal your intentions. And you send your rivals on time-consuming wild goose chases. Another powerful tool in throwing people off the scent is false sincerity. People easily mistake sincerity for honesty. Remember, their first instinct is to trust appearances. And since they value honesty and want to believe in the honesty of those around them, they will rarely doubt you or see through your act. Seeming to believe what you say gives your words great weight. Seeming to believe deeply in the decoyed object you dangle in front of others will make its reality hard to doubt. But it's important to not go too far with sincerity. Appear overpassionate and you raise suspicions, so be measured and believable with this tactic. To make your false sincerity an effective weapon in concealing your intentions, espouse publicly a belief in honesty and openness, as important social values. Remember, the best deceivers do everything they can to hide their roguish qualities. They cultivate an air of honesty in one area, to disguise their dishonesty in others. Part 2. Use smokescreens to disguise your actions. The best deceivers are not colorful folk who mislead with elaborate lies and tall tales. The best deceivers actually utilize a bland and inconspicuous front that calls no attention to themselves. They know that extravagant words and gestures immediately raise suspicion. Instead, they envelop their mark in the familiar, the banal, and the harmless. Once you have hypnotized your sucker's attention with the familiar, they will not notice the deception being perpetrated behind their backs. This derives from the simple truth that people can only focus on one thing at a time. It is really too difficult for them to imagine that the bland, harmless person they are dealing with is simultaneously setting up something else. The more bland your smokescreen, the better it conceals your intentions. With the decoy and red herring tactics you actively distract people. But with a smokescreen, you lull your victims, drawing them into your web. Because it is so hypnotic, this is often the best way of concealing your intentions. The simplest form of smokescreen is facial expression. Behind a bland, unreadable exterior, all sorts of mayhem can be planned, without detection. The poker face is the weapon the most powerful men in history have learned to perfect. Franklin D. Roosevelt, Baron James Rothschild, Talleyrand, Henry Kissinger, and Haile Selassie were all masters of this smokescreen. Kissinger would bore his opponents around the negotiating table to tears with his monotonous voice, his bland look, and his endless recitation of details. Then, as their eyes glazed over, he would suddenly hit them with a list of bold terms. Caught off guard, they would be easily intimidated. The good poker player is seldom an actor. Instead he practices a bland behavior that minimizes readable patterns, frustrates and confuses opponents, and permits greater concentration. An adaptable concept, the smokescreen can be practiced on a number of levels, all playing on the psychological principles of distraction and misdirection. One of the most effective smokescreens is the noble gesture. Any kind of noble, apparently selfless act will serve to disarm the wary. The best act is often one of generosity, like a gift. Few people can resist a gift, and it is the perfect object in which to hide a deceptive move. People want to believe apparently noble gestures are genuine, for the belief is pleasant. They rarely notice how deceptive these gestures can be. Another effective smokescreen is the pattern. The establishment of a series of actions that seduce the victim into believing you will continue in the same way. By creating a pattern for people to be familiar and comfortable with, you can lull them to sleep. Your opponents base their moves on their preconceived notions about you. You can use this in several ways. First, it sets up a comfortable front behind which you can carry on deceptive actions. Second, it allows you on rare occasions to do something completely against the pattern, unsettling your opponent, and allowing you to get what you are really after. The pattern plays on the psychology of anticipation. Our behavior conforms to a pattern, or so we like everyone to believe. Another psychological weakness on which to construct a smokescreen is the human tendency to mistake appearances for reality. This habit makes a smokescreen called the seamless blend a very effective front. The trick is to simply blend in with those around you. The seamless blend is the perfect smokescreen for spying. The better you blend, the less suspicious you become, and the better you conceal your intentions. The reversal. It is important to understand that no diversionary device will succeed, if you already have an established reputation for deception. Reputation is the cornerstone of power, and is your calling card wherever you go. You cannot use a decoy, a red herring, or a smokescreen to hide your intentions, if people do not, to some degree, trust you. And finally, although it is wiser to divert attention from your purposes by presenting a bland, familiar exterior, there are times when the colorful, dramatic gesture is the right diversionary tactic. Spectacle and entertainment, clearly, are excellent devices to conceal your intentions, but they cannot be used indefinitely. People grow tired and suspicious, and eventually catch on to the trick. On the other hand, powerful people with bland exteriors can practice their deceptions in the same place throughout their lifetimes. Their act never wears thin, and rarely causes suspicion. The colorful smokescreen should be used cautiously then, and only when the occasion is right.